Hey guys, my name is Mysca and welcome back to Overwatch Central. Today it's time for hero gameplay analysis with everyone's favorite Cockney hero, Tracer. So before the Overwatch beta went live, many of us were looking forward to trying Tracer out, including Ryan and I. But in the end, neither of us ended up playing that much Tracer actually. I played a fair bit at the start of the beta, but after a while I found other heroes that I enjoyed more. Anyway, let's talk about the face of Overwatch and the hype surrounding her.
I mean, Tracer is the poster girl of Overwatch, and as we saw in the top 5 heroes people want to play video, there was a huge interest from the community wanting to play Tracer, and even though that was only sort of a small sample of the Overwatch community, it seems to represent the community as a whole pretty well. We've encountered a lot of people who have instantly locked in their characters as a Tracer, Genji, McCree, and may only play those characters constantly. Me and you, Mysca, when we play, we like to play the heroes that the team may desperately need. You know, a tank, another support, and so on and so forth. In the opportunities I do get to play Tracer, I love doing so. I'm not particularly good at playing her yet, but I really enjoy playing her and how rewarding she feels to play as an offensive hero. I guess concerning that, when the beta comes back, we need to be a bit more selfish and say, no, I'm playing Tracer this game, you play something else. But that can often end in problems of two people being incredibly stubborn and not wanting to change. But regarding heroes like that, Reaper, McCree is on the list as well. It's just a case of finding the time to play them and finding decent situations to be playing them.
Yeah, almost all hero-based games, MOBAs and so on, have a couple super mobile glass cannons. Tracer is definitely the one in Overwatch and is naturally a bit more difficult to play. But what can you say to all these people that are still looking forward to playing the game and more specifically playing Tracer in terms of what the hero specializes in and is good at doing?
As I said, she's super fun to play. It's always nice to play an English character even though she has a god-awful accent. It's a very exciting way of playing Overwatch too. We've spoken about heroes like Symmetra having a different tempo and playstyle to other heroes, and I feel that Tracer's is the most high-speed twitch shooting style out of all the heroes currently. So if you are a precise aimer and enjoy those high-speed, adrenaline-filled moments and are good at thinking quickly on your feet, then Tracer will be a good pick for you. I would say her main job isn't to kill a lot of people. Tracer is just there to harass, mostly. Sounds weird from an offensive hero, right? I mean, we've spoken about heroes like Winston that's jobs are to harass the backline and to disrupt the enemy team as much as they can. But Tracer's main job is very similar, and it's to get behind the enemy's ranks, and like we said about Reaper last week, using the flanks and quiet areas with health packs to jump out and pick off some heroes that tend to get stuck on their run, maybe running back from spawn or just found themselves unlucky basically. Most of the time you can pick these heroes off, but ultimately you just want to be annoying the enemy team, stop them focusing on the objective so that the rest of your team can push and defeat the enemy whilst the enemy is focusing on trying to deal with you. As I just said, if you are a good shooter you can take out a lot of heroes pretty easily one-on-one. Heroes that you want to be really going for are Bastion and Sentry, Widowmaker, Mercy if she's on her own, because these heroes can affect how the game is played from a distance and would struggle to react to a really sneaky Tracer coming along and taking them by surprise. So you have a huge advantage there.
Harassing is indeed Tracer's main job and she does it really well. You can get caught out though for several reasons. Let's talk about these in detail. What are Tracer's weaknesses and what do you try to look out for when playing her?
Well, for starters, she is extremely brittle. She can easily be picked off by a lot of heroes and their ultimates, so it's important that you aren't running around an open area with any form of blink or recall. Also, it's best to steer clear of heroes like Symmetra and Winston with their weapons that can home in on people. On the subject of Symmetra, be sure to keep an eye out for her sentries, as a couple of those can easily kill you off pretty quickly. Not to mention they'll slow you down, so you'll be an easy kill for somebody else if they are around. Another hero to be wary of is McCree. If he manages to stun you, it's pretty much game over with how quickly he can empty a couple of shots into you. All in all, just be careful of those heroes with strong stuns. Reinhardt's ult and Junkrat's trap can make quick deaths of you too.
After the addition of the new heroes, we've seen a certain green ninja robot dude appear in almost every pub game, as well as quite a few tournament games. Genji seems to be even more popular than Tracer. Do you think he's a stronger hero and or easier to play?
I think the main thing that separates the two is how Genji has plenty more other options to deal with enemies and plenty more tricks up his sleeve. Tracer has her blink and recall, but Genji has a double jump, wall climb, his swift strike which can act a bit like a blink, but he can do this vertically as well as horizontally, and not only that, his deflect acts as another defensive option. His ultimate in the right hands can decimate an entire team, but that takes some getting used to. As we said towards the start of the video, Tracer wants to be picking off heroes that are sat comfortably behind the backlines. A lot of the time heroes like this, Mercy, Hanzo, Widowmaker, will be sat fairly high up on ledges, so it's much more time consuming and difficult as a Tracer to manoeuvre yourself around to where they are than it would for a Genji. Because Genji can just climb up, wall run or swift strike to get to where he needs to be. Also, Genji's weapon damage from a distance is also fairly strong, and he also has a solid answer to a Widowmaker and Bastion's attack with his deflect. It just makes him much more of a versatile offensive pick than Tracer can ever be. Saying that, Tracer is still a really fun hero, and I'm sure Blizzard are aware that both these heroes are fairly similar in how they play, so they may change up some of the abilities slightly and make them feel a little bit more diverse.
And that's all for this week's gameplay analysis. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you for watching. We really appreciate the support we're getting in this period of the beta being offline. We're working hard with staying consistent, but finding appropriate and decent gameplay when we can't record any new is difficult to say the least. Subscribe to not miss any upcoming videos covering the new game mode and maps and a bunch of other cool stuff. We'll see you next time, and until then, take care.